Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to make these beautiful, elegant flower earrings. Let's get started. The supplies you're going to need are UV resin, resin dye in Garnet, it's a dark red, mixing bowl, mixing utensil, 20 jump rings 8mm and 2 jump rings 6mm, 20 gauge wire, tweezers, 4 head pins. We're just going to use the top part of the head pin, micro beads, flush cutters, chain nose pliers, and round nose pliers. You will also need 2 earring posts and then 2 of the butterfly backs. We're going to start with 10 of the 8mm jump rings, and we're just going to place them together, and they're going to form a flower. And when you're doing this, make sure that where the ends meet, that they're on the inside of the flower. Alright, I'm just going to prepare my UV resin for the next step. So I'm just putting some in a mixing bowl. And oops, I made a mistake. I was going to start working on the next step, but I first have to put another 5 of the jump rings down on the silicone mat to make another flower. Now we're only working with 2 flowers right now, and then after you're done with these, then you're going to work on another 2 flowers. You're going to have 4 in total. If your silicone mat is large enough, you can do all 4 flowers at the same time. Now that we're done putting the flowers together, we're going to put a dot of UV resin using your mixing utensil between each of the petals. Now that we're done, we're going to cure this for 60 seconds. Now that it's cured, I'm going to add the Garnet dye to the clear UV resin. And as you can see, I did not pierce the top and open it. This is a new bottle. Add 2 drops into your resin. And mix it thoroughly. After mixing up the resin and the dye, I do have some bubbles in there, and so I'm going to use the heat gun to remove them. Now that the bubbles are removed, you will use your mixing utensil to dab in a thin layer of Garnet resin into each of the jump rings. And we're only doing a thin layer because we don't want it to leak underneath the jump rings. As you can see, this is a slow process, so do take your time. first flower will be cured for 60 seconds. Now we're going to work on the second flower. If you're working on 4 flowers on one silicone mat instead of 2 like I'm working on, then you're still going to do the same procedure. You're going to work on 1 flower at a time. I'm going to cure it for 60 seconds. Now that it's done curing, I'm going to add another layer over the top of each petal, and I'm adding enough so it looks like it's doming up over the top, but it's not overflowing. At this point, we're going to do both flowers on the silicone mat. And if you have 4 flowers on the silicone mat, you're going to do all 4. And we're going to cure this for 180 seconds. Now that it's done curing, you can remove it from the silicone mat. Be careful because they are a little bit fragile. And you're going to use a half round mold, any mold that the flower will fit into, and then you're just going to push it down into it so that it forms upward. Next, you're going to take your head pin and your flush cutters, and you're going to cut the top part off of the wire. You can save the wire for another project, and you will do it on all 4 head pins. I'm just doing 2 here, and I'm just making sure that it's molded into the half round form. Going to add a dab of UV resin into the center and place one of the tops from the head pin into the center. And now I'll cure it for 90 seconds. After it's cured, I'm going to add some UV resin over the top. And I'm going to use my mixing tool to spread it to the edges. Now I'm going to be using the micro beads, and I'm just going to add a few around the head pin top. And now you're going to cure it for 180 seconds. Now that it's done curing, you can remove it from the mold. As you can see, it curves up a little bit, and you're going to do the same process for the other 3 flowers. For this step, you're going to need a glass tile and some sticky tack, and we're going to place the flowers, 2 of them only, onto the sticky tack upside down so the back shows up. You're going to need the 2 earring posts. And we're going to place a dab of resin in the center of each flower. And then we're going to add on the earring posts. Here it is close up. And we're going to cure this for 60 seconds. After it's done curing, we're going to add another layer of resin onto the back. And using the mixing tool, we'll spread it to the edges and also make sure that the earring post is secure. You will do the same for the other earring. Make sure that it is spread evenly all the way to the edges. And then cure for 180 seconds. Once they're done curing, you can remove them from the sticky tack. As you can see, it makes quite a nice little earring. You can also make these just the way they are. But let's get on with the next step. For this step, you're going to need your other 2 flowers and your 6mm jump rings. You will also need a drill and you're going to need a small drill bit, and this is to drill a hole into the flower. I just have a little block of wood here so I don't harm my fingers. And I'm just going to drill the hole through one of the petals. And I'm going to do it on each one. Okay, I'm just cleaning them off a little bit. And then I'm using my chain nose pliers and I'm opening up the jump ring to the side. Never open it pulling it apart because it will lose its shape. And I'm attaching it to the flower. And I'm doing the same for the second flower. Next, you're going to need your 2 butterfly earring backs. You will need your 20 gauge wire. You will cut 2 pieces 1.5 inches long. You will need your round nose pliers, and on one of the 1.5 inch pieces of 20 gauge wire, we're going to create a little loop. And as you can see, after the loop, I bent it backwards a little bit. And then on the other side, we're going to create a little bit larger loop. And then you're going to bend this one back also, and then reclose the loop. And as you can see, both loops face in the same direction. And now we'll work on the second piece of 1.5 inch 20 gauge wire. We're going to make the loop, bend it back, and then close it up. And this is the small loop. And now we'll do the larger loop. I'm just adjusting it a little bit. And this one's just a little bit larger. Make the loop. Bend it back and close up the loop. Both loops are in the same direction. Now we're going to put the earrings together. You're going to need your chain nose pliers, and I'm just going to use these first to straighten out the wire a little bit. It got a little crooked when I was making the loops, so I'm just straightening it out. Next, with your chain nose pliers, open the small loop to the side. Never pull it apart because it'll lose its shape. And then we're going to add a flower with the jump ring. And then we're going to close up that loop. Next, we're going to open the large loop to the side, and you're going to use a butterfly earring back, and we're going to place that loop on one of the earring back loops and then close it up. As you can see, the face of the earring back is in the same direction as the front of the flower. Now we'll work on the second one. We're going to open the small loop to the side, add the flower with the jump ring, close it up, open the larger loop to the side, add the earring back to the loop, and then close it up. And now you can add it to your earring. So just place the backs onto the earring like you normally would for any pair of earrings. Thank you for watching my video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and press the bell for notifications of my upcoming videos. Also, in the description box below, you will find links to my jewelry, photography, and my artwork. Thank you again. See you soon. Bye-bye.